Okay, SEC home opener, obviously a big week. Another highly ranked opponent that knocked off a previously top 10 opponent and played very well. Looking at them defensively, it looks like the same type defense that LSU's traditionally had. Top 10 defense in scoring right now. Offensively, they're very balanced. One of the more balanced teams in our conference right now. So, obviously big game. Anytime LSU and Auburn gets together, it's going to be big. And then, of course, obviously home opener in the SEC West. A couple updates. Aiden Marshall has left our team. Decided to do something different. Obviously, Aaron Sipos will be our starting punter now. We feel very good about Aaron. Feel like he's done a good job. Ian Shannon will come back and will be our backup punter moving forward the rest of the season. A couple updates on some guys that got banged up. Driscoll, Horton, Darrell Williams, and Slayton all will practice today. We'll see how that goes and see how things progress throughout the week. Will Hastings and Eli Stove, we do expect them both to play more than they played last week and get another good week of practice under their belt, full speed, and go from there. So overall, like I said, I know our guys are excited to be at home in the SEC opener and playing a very good LSU opponent. Questions?
Guys, this game is always a physical, pretty physical, intense game. Is that something these guys get revved up about knowing that?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, of course, you know this goes way back in history when LSU and Auburn get together. It's going to be a physical game, and they know that. We know that, and it's always a good one. So the intensity will be very high.
What stands out to you about LSU's pass rush and their defensive front?
Well, I think they're tied for the lead in our league right now, rushing the passer, and they got after both opponents really good. And it's not just one guy. They do it by a group. They'll bring some linebacker pressure, bring a little bit more pressure probably the first couple of games than they have in the past. And, they got good cover guys on the back end that allow them to do that.
How different are they without that top guy, without the linebacker there?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, but they've got a lot of depth. I mean, you can tell they got a lot of depth, a lot of guys that can run, which traditionally that's kind of been their MO, and it looks the same to me. But obviously, he was a very good player.
Gus, when you hired Kevin a few years ago from LSU, there were a lot of people who kind of questioned if that was the right hire. But what was it about him in that process that you saw that he could do what he has done?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, Kevin is a professional from the word go, and that's what I was looking for someone. And then he has great knowledge of our league, understands our league. He's a great teacher, and I was looking for someone that is a fit with me, and his philosophy matched up with mine, and that's why he's been a very good fit. And he's a relationship guy, and he's really good with relationships, and our players have really responded. And he's got our defense in a really good spot right now.
What about his defense fits with what your philosophy?
Yeah, just philosophy-wise, he's a detailed guy. He's an organized guy, and he lets our players play. He lets them play, and he's very good with scheme. But he knows the strengths of our guys, and he turns them loose.
Coach, how much of it all do you talk about last year's game as a motivating factor for the team that sparked your team last year for the end of the season run there? Is something you talk about this year at all?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't have to say a whole lot. That was an extremely tough loss. It was the toughest loss of the year last year, and probably one of the toughest that since I've been here. And our players, the majority of them are back and went through it and understand it, so there's not going to be a whole lot of motivation and rah-rah stuff as far as last year. This is a new year. We're playing at home. Our guys are extremely motivated right now. But looking back, that was kind of the turning point of our whole season last year, going through the extremely low time.
Just to follow up on that, were there any lessons learned from that game?
I think so. Anytime you have a tough loss, especially when we were up 20-0 and we lost, there was a lot of lessons that can be learned that in all phases, and how we lost. And most teams would have folded their tent, and but our team didn't. They rolled their sleeves up and they finished the year and they took it one game at a time. But at the same time, after that game, it was uphill. It was uphill the rest of the year. And but yeah, our team learned a lot, and you know, all of us did.
You played so many young guys last Saturday. What did you guys see from grading the film? Anything that stand out?
Yeah, you know, we saw some good things. We saw a lot of freshman mistakes that you expect. In a game like that, it was good to get the guys out there. And my experience is the guys that can help you, they'll get better, and they won't make the same mistakes. So it was good that we gave them a chance to get out there against an opponent. We learned quite a bit about the ones that's going to help moving forward, and maybe the ones that need a little bit more time too. But you know, it just kind of confirmed we got some talented freshmen, you know, guys in this class, and I think you could see that. We just got a hold on the football. You got a hold on the football. That's probably the number one thing that stood out to me with the young guys, you know, as far as that goes.
Gus, how close is Court Sandberg to being able to compete for the backup job to where you can put him in a big
You know,
game?
he's getting better every day. He is a, you know, he's got that professional approach. You know, he's the type that if he makes a mistake, he usually doesn't make the same mistake twice, but playing quarterback for us, you know, half the battle is just the pre-snap, you know, getting the communication right, getting everybody lined up, and then looking at your defense and going through your progressions and after the ball snapped. And so he's getting more and more comfortable. I know Chip has been very impressed with him so far. And so I think it's kind of one of those deals, week by week, you'll see him get more and more comfortable, you know, as far as that goes. And then Malik, you know, he's got a lot of experience as far as being with our ones, being with our twos. Our expectations are extremely high for him if he gets in there.
Has he disappointed you in the way he's performed when he's been in the game?
He can do better, but he's also made some good plays too. But, you know, like I said, our expectation for him is high. I mean, he's like a starter in our mind from the standpoint with the reps he's gotten. And we do have confidence in him. Make no mistake, if he gets in the game, you know, our players and coaches will have confidence in him.
How nice would it be to, one, get this win, but not have to fight that uphill battle, which you've got to do several years here to stay in the hunt down the stretch, you know?
Yeah, well, you look at our schedule, I mean, it's a man's schedule. And, you know, it's a week-to-week deal. But obviously last year, it was uphill after this game, there's no doubt. So, I mean, that'd be great, you know, to get a win, but it's every week, you know, when you look at our schedule. There's not too many schedules out in the country like ours.
Gus, you guys saw something pretty early in Sean Shivers. But did you expect to see what you've seen out of him already as a true freshman?
You know, when we recruited him, I mean, I knew he's a very good player, and we've had success with true freshman running backs in the past. And you know, when you give him the ball, he can do his thing, and he runs a lot bigger than he is, and he's fast, he's confident, which is very, very important for true freshmen. And so you'll see him, if he'll continue to hold on the football, I think you'll see his role grow.
As far as the safety, when Malik had the mishap there in the end zone, and you were caught on camera saying, how does that happen? How can that even happen?
Is that what I said?
Yeah, it is. What was his answer? I mean, how could he explain that?
Were you thinking the same thing?
I couldn't believe that he held the ball.
Right. Yeah, and he made a mistake. He's been really good at the zone read type stuff, and I think he probably just got a little greedy there, got a little excited, and obviously it was a negative play. So I don't think he'll do that again.
Speaking of running backs, Gus, Whitlow, y'all kind of didn't know what he was going to be when you recruited him. Has he surprised you?
You know, I think so. You know, if I go back to last year in fall camp, he got hurt in the last scrimmage, but before that, he was running the ball very good. So it kind of caught our eye. We were even thinking he would be able to help us on special teams last year before he got hurt. And so then this spring, you know, he's grown up a little bit, got a little more confidence, and you know, he runs the ball north-south very good. It's just all the little things without the ball, just to keep it improving, and then obviously holding on to the football.
How did Austin Troxell and Nick Brahms do? And are they pushing?
Yeah, you know, I thought both of them did a good job when they were in there, and both of them are guys that, you know, can help us. And you know, as far as pushing for, playing time. I think both of them are doing that. So, that'll give us some depth moving forward too. So I was pleased with when they got in there.
I know you weren't ready to say it after Saturday's game, but the way Whitlow's run the first 2 games, has he started to carve out a bigger role in the backfield there?
He could, and like I told you, I mean, of course, that was by design that those freshman running backs, Cam didn't get as much. And so that was by design. We're learning about him, and, he's a bigger back, and, I think his role, as long as he holds on the football, his role could continue to grow.
When our Chip called his number for arguably the biggest play of the season to this point, were you a little bit nervous about it, the guy that hadn't been out there much?
On which one?
Washington, against Washington, we scored a touchdown.
No, I really wasn't at that time. I think, as a coach, you're just going through, our plan was to play Cam and Booby that first game. And once you make that decision, that's who you're going with. So it really wasn't. And then, of course, it was blocked extremely well, too. And he just had to finish the safety on that one.
Yes, the offensive line, you talked about Brahms, Troxel. How much different or how much have you learned about that group now that they've been together for 2 games?
You talking about Brahms?
The offense, no, the starting offense.
Oh, the starting offense, okay, yeah. Before we had a couple of the bang-up injuries, I saw some really good stuff. And I think you'll see, as long as we stay healthy, you'll see that group continue to grow, continue to get better communicating with all the things that go with it. It's just going to be a matter of can we stay healthy. And then you throw in the guys we just talked about. Brahms I think he's getting healthier. He's starting to come on. Trox is starting to come on. Calvin Ashley is improving. So, we're just trying to build that depth. In a perfect world, we keep everybody healthy, and then you can really, it gets fun when you can do that.
How important is Dontavius Russell been for you guys, not just on the field, but you notice him on the field when mistakes happen, he's like punching the air and getting on guys. Marlon Davidson said after the game Saturday that he called him an old head, he's a perfectionist, he doesn't want to do up downs for mistakes the teammates make. How important is he?
Well, he's been around a long time, and he's been through the ups and downs, and this is his last rodeo, and he's one of our leaders. And, he's wanting to seize the moment. That's what we want out of all of our leaders, because he knows exactly what it takes, and he's just, he's leading our team like I want him to lead, and like our coaches want him to lead. So, I think not only is he an excellent player, and one of those guys I think gets overlooked. If you really watch him play in and play out, he's a technician, he's a disruptor, he's a dominant player, but you add to his leadership, and he has the ability to be a multiplier and affect others. That tells you a lot about him.
Kevin Steele talked a little bit about LSU quarterback Joe Burrow. His completion percentage is under 50%, so what makes him special is that he's got a lot of freedom at the line of scrimmage to audible out of bad plays and making good plays, and that's what's made LSU successful. How do you combat that, for your defense when you go on the field, you call something, you got to try and match wits with the guy?
Yeah, that's part of the game that goes on just about every week. But he is even though he just got there, he's a more veteran guy, and it looks to me like they're putting some things on his hands. But that's just a kind of a game within a game that an offense and defense usually goes through quite a bit each Saturday.
How much do you expect that game within a game to go on with Jared against a linebacker as good as White, and who's clearly been around and has got the knowledge defensively to compare with any quarterback offensively?
Yeah, first of all, I'm very impressed with him. He's a dominant player, and you can tell they give him freedom too. And a lot of times, even looks like outside their system, he just makes plays. And he's a guy that you got to know where he's at, and he's very good against the run. He's very good at blitzing, very good at delayed blitzing. He's a dominant player. He's one of the best players, defensive players in our league.
You've gone against LSU where they've had outstanding defensive backs virtually every year. Greedy Williams certainly appears to very much be in that mold. He may be the best in the country. Mm-hmm. What is it that makes him so good, and can you compare him to, because he seems to be so aggressive at jumping routes, is there a corner in the past, either LSU or elsewhere, that he compares to?
Well, they've had some excellent corners in the past, like you said, and I think he just fits in line. He's a good cover guy. He's a good athlete. He can run. And I think from a DB standpoint, you know, the special ones, they have that ability to be very confident and take chances, and they can recover when they do take chances. And I think, you know, it looks to me like he's in that same mold, and but he's an outstanding player.
How difficult is, because you see him at the pro level, corners at that level can take away half the field, and professional quarterbacks don't even want to test some of the best in the NFL. At the college level, when you're going up against a corner like that, how is it as a play caller, as a strategist, as a coach, to try and not let that happen?
Each week, you know, you've got to look at their dominant players, and you got to look at the ones that are impact players, and you've got to put together a plan as far as that goes. And every week's a little different. I mean, some weeks you do some different things, other weeks you do, but you know, he's in that mode that we'll know where he's at. That's probably the best way I can answer that.
Gus, one play from scrimmage offensively at 30 or more yards, would you like to see more explosive plays from him?
Yes, yeah, there's no doubt. You know, that first game was pretty unique from the standpoint that, man, they dropped everybody back deep, okay? Wasn't a whole lot of those big play opportunities. Then last week, you know, we had a couple big plays that were good, but you know, when we're at our best, we have those explosive plays, especially when you're playing against quality opponents, you know, that you have enough big plays to generate points. And so, yeah, we would definitely like more.
I want to ask you about Schwartz. Obviously, he's extremely fast, but are you surprised by how refined he is as a runner? Because, like, in the Alabama State game, he went fast when he had to, but he slowed down when he needed to as well. And a lot of young guys don't do that.
You know, yeah, he has impressed us. You know, he really wasn't here the majority of the summer because he was running track, and so his first really getting to know the offense was in fall camp. So the way he's progressed, he's a very smart, you know, football player. He understands. He's good with the ball in his hands, and you're exactly right. Some speed guys just But he made a couple cuts and made a couple guys miss, and you know, he's going to give us the flexibility to do a lot of different things, I feel like, this year.
You know, you ran that reverse into the boundary with him, which tells me, I mean, obviously anybody that fast, you'd put him in the field.
Yeah.
But you must have had some confidence that he could do what he needed to do.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like one of those things too. That game gave us a chance to play our freshmen, not just him, and see what they could do. And like I said, some of them were very, very impressive. Some we feel like we need a little more work with, but you know, he did some very good things.
What have you seen from LSU's running back, Nick Brossette? Obviously a first-year starter, but a guy that Kevin is pretty familiar with from his time.
Yeah, I mean, they always have a really good running back. He looks like he fits that mold from the guys they've had in the past. So, you know, they're going to run the football and try to be physical, and their running back's a big part of that.
Yes, what did you, talk about those freshmen, how valuable was it to be able to not have to say, I don't want to play this guy because we might want to redshirt him, be able to just put him out there anyway, knowing you can still redshirt him?
Yeah, but it's big time, because you can get information that you need to see, yep, they can help us. And a lot of times too with freshmen is not just help you on offense and defense, but help you on special teams. And so it gave us some really good information as far as that goes, because you never want to waste your eligibility on someone just for a few plays. And so it gives you some time to strategically say, okay, yeah, it's going to be valuable for him to continue to play, or hey, let's go ahead and redshirt him. So I think it was a game like that was very valuable to let those guys play.
You played some tough games at home last year, obviously, but you managed to beat your SEC teams by 24 points or more on average. What is it about playing at home compared to the road in the SEC for your team over the last year?
Well, I think most teams are probably going to play better at home than they are on the road, but you know, we have a very big advantage with our crowd and our stadium and our atmosphere, and our guys play well at home, and we need to continue to do that. You know, I think we've got 13 in a row, and we need to keep building upon that.
I know Stidham hasn't lost a fumble, but he did fumble twice against Washington. The ball security still seems to be there. Is that something, how do you address that in practice? Is it on your mind?
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of confidence in Jarrett. You know, the one play he was trying to make a play, it was close to being a you know, incomplete pass, but he's well aware of that. He has greatly improved in that area, and we have confidence in it.
Yes, understanding it's a very small sample size, and the first week was against a very good opponent that you mentioned was dropping into zone and the red zone stuff, but when the red zone statistics are pretty tough right now offensively. Is that a concern, even though it's?
Yeah, you know, really, I think it's more of the first game is probably the biggest thing. Last week, I don't, you know, I know one time we ran the same play 4 times in a row, you know, at the very end. So it was more the first game, and it's kind of what they do. But we've got confidence. You know, we've always been really good in the red zone, and we usually try to run it in too. But you know, this year we got the flexibility to mix it up, and I know that Chip will have a really good red zone plan the rest of the year.
You guys have Sherwood and Smoke been what you hoped they would be?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think both of them are. They're not playing like freshmen.
Got one more in the back.
Gus, I know you are pretty good at keeping an eye on the weather. Do you have any plans and preparations if that storm kind of comes this way over the weekend, practice?
Yeah, not yet. As it gets closer, we'll, you know, if we need to have a plan, we will. But no, I hadn't got there that yet.
Okay, thank you.